My girl clowning bad. My girl fixing her own order.
I am.
All right.
Play with me talking about something. Wait. No. You gonna give me my mother and I'm gonna take your you got me around these girl.
So recently there's been this term that's been trending, black fatigue. Now, according to the original definition of the word coined by Mary Frances Winters, black fatigue is a term that describes the feeling of exhaustion and emotional strain experienced by black individuals due to the constant exposure to systemic racism and its impact on their lives. And honestly, even if I didn't know the definition of the word before reading that, I'd probably guess that the meaning was somewhere along those lines. But see, in the last couple of months, it seems that the term has been gentrified. It's been reconstructed to mean something completely different.
Because black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior. What? Black person blaming white people for all their problems? You don't see that every day.
Black fatigue. It's all over my FYP page. Thank you. I am so happy that this is being brought up. And oh, by the way, for us white people that have been around the block a long time, this isn't new to us. We've been dealing with this for over 40 years.
It went from being a term that's supposed to empathize with the black struggle and all the hardships that black people have and are still experiencing due to racism. Now it's become a term that's supposed to represent how tired everyone is of black people. Black people being loud, black people taking up space, being ghetto, black people not having any decorum. That's the type of narrative that's correlated with the word now. Basically, incidents like this.
Okay, go. Let's go. Let's go. You didn't let me get my moment, so I want to say my name is Khadijata Diallo, and I'm graduating today. I don't like how you snatched the mic out of my hand, so today is going to be all about me.
Oh, drops the mic. Congratulations!
Now, I don't know the whole backstory behind that clip, but it seems like she goes to a PWI, and it looks like they either didn't give her enough time to give her speech, or maybe they didn't pronounce her name properly, which happens pretty often. Now, let's be honest, if you've been working for however many years and, you know, on your big day when you're finally graduating, someone tries to undermine it, I understand if you get a little bit angry, but I still don't think that's enough to justify black fatigue. And the next clip I'm about to show you is one of the main clips that's been circling the internet related to black fatigue. These black students who just graduated from high school start dancing and acting what some might call ghetto. Bro, if y'all don't let these kids celebrate, they stayed up the late nights, they turned in the assignments, they took the tests, they did the work and they graduated. Let them celebrate. Not everything has to be super formal. It's literally their ceremony. And it's crazy the type of comments that you see under this video. Never classy. I heard of ghetto prom, but ghetto graduation is new. Not a single person has a GPA over 1.5. For high school graduation, question mark, all you had to do was show up to pass. Stereotypes are not given, they're earned. KFC uni, ghetto university, hood university. And the thing is, it's not just white people who are calling out these ghetto black people for their actions. It's black people too.
Black fatigue is real. Everybody is tired of black people, but it's two specific types of black people that everyone is tired of. Number one, everybody is tired of loud, ghetto, and ratchet, and violent, and mean, and angry all the time. Everybody is tired of them. Nobody wants to deal with them. Even other black people do not want to deal with these people. You know when you see them in public, you know when they're gonna give you attitude at the CVS. Everybody knows it and they want to avoid it. The second group of black people that everybody is tired of is this sort of like fake black bougie intelligentsia who kind of like walks around telling everybody how they're supposed to think or speak or act when it comes to anything black. These are the most privileged black people in the world.
Black fatigue or ghetto fatigue is a real thing, and no one's staying silent about it any longer. No nationality wants to be involved or bothered by this loud, obnoxious group of people. No one, not even hard-working black Americans. Everywhere that group of people go, chaos follows. And no matter where you go, they're there. You can't go on a cruise ship because they done ghettoed it out. Have you seen the Carnival cruise ships? It looks like a barbecue. And if you haven't noticed, it's always the same group of people. You know, loud, bonnets, pajamas, big ass eyelashes that flutter. You know, the EBT crowd.
I hate how they try to make it seem as if acting ghetto is exclusive to black people. The way I see it, black people usually have so much on their plate, so much stress, that honestly, it makes sense that they tend to snap more often. When you're dealing with the weight of the world on your shoulders, it's a lot easier to get triggered. And I wish we'd stop acting like acting ghetto and operating in a way that lacks decorum is exclusive to black people. This is an oppressed people who are suffering from stress, lack of resources, discrimination type of thing. Because trust me, there are plenty of ghetto white people as well. If you've ever met a low-income white person, you know, someone who doesn't have a stable income, who doesn't come from a good family or have some sort of family backing if things go wrong, then you know that they can be just as, if not more, ghetto than black people.
What type of shit is this? Yo, is she pregnant? Oh my gosh. Oh, grandma getting out the car. Yo, this is some shit.
And besides that, are we gonna act like there isn't a whole archetype of annoying ghetto white women called Karens?
See my purse?
Yeah.
That means I'm first.
Oh, congrats on being first at Chili's.
I don't appreciate your sarcasm. He's running me over!
No, I'm not.
Ma'am, hurry, please hurry! Mike! Mike! Mike!
Brief intermission, I'm trying to get to 100k subs, so I'd appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe on this channel and on my reaction channel, 4D Shams Live. Also, join my Discord and follow me on Instagram. Love y'all.
Calling me a bitch, so set an example.
I'm sorry. My kids can't hear me calling you a bitch.
Your window's open.
They can't hear me because they're listening to Kids Bop.
Go away. I don't know what you're saying. What are you doing? My car's not even on.
This was the last tree.
Okay, well, I just bought it,
No,
so
I
can you
need
not?
it.
Okay, can you get away from my
it's
tree? What are you
fine
doing?
now. I know, and that's what's wrong with this world. This man and his Doberman just attacked me and my Chihuahua.
It's not a Doberman. What are you doing?
He just bit me.
No, he
just
didn't.
bit me. Help!
Whoa, ref, flag on the play. Are we not gonna talk about how many times they pulled the victim card falsely too? Imagine if he wasn't recording this interaction. Y'all know exactly who the authorities would lean towards and who they'd be more willing to believe. This is why people be saying white tears can be some of the most terrifying things in this world. And I never thought about this, but what's the male version of a Karen? Is it like a Kevin, a Craig, maybe a Ken? Well, yeah, anyways, whatever it is, those exist too. What the f is wrong with you?
Get in your car, dude.
Get in your car!
I'm in my car. That's fair.
Yeah, so my point is, for all the black people who are getting online and saying stuff like this,
there's an interesting phrase going around these days. It's called black fatigue. When I heard that shit, I started laughing because I've been had black fatigue. Well, nigga fatigue, I love black people. See, it's the difference between niggas and black people. You understand? And what it should be called is nigga fatigue. Because even black people have nigga fatigue. You understand? The ghetto ratchet bullshit. All the ignorant stuff that these people stand for. All the ignorant stuff that these people defend. All the weird shit these people say. All the victimization and acceptance of the bigotry of low expectations and all the Stockholm syndrome and all that shit like that, all the random acts of violence that people want to ignore because it's black on black, which they also want to ignore and just say it's proximity crime, but no, it's black on black crime. It's an epidemic.
It can't be a coincidence that dude just happens to look like Uncle Ruckus. But anyways, yeah, for all the black people who say stuff like that, just know they're not gonna pick you, buddy. At the end of the day, in their eyes, you're just another one of the niggas. But seriously though, for all the black people who are saying they're experiencing black fatigue, they're tired of black people, they're tired of niggas, you have to reevaluate the position that you're looking at this from. A lot of you have this idea that because you came from a similar predicament, and by the grace of God, of course, you were able to make it out, that you have the right to speak down on everyone else, that somehow qualifies you to speak down on your brethren. You making it out and seeing that success should be more a testament to your strength than a call out to their weakness and inability to help themselves. And honestly, as people who've made it out of a similar struggle, y'all should know more than anyone else how delicate it is to navigate these type of environments. All it takes is you being on the wrong block, your mom not picking you up after practice on time because she has to work a little later, hanging around your cousins who are a bad influence. There's literally so many variables that could have went wrong. And shoot, at least those are things that you somewhat have control over. There are people who were born crack babies. They literally had the choice made for them before they even got the chance to develop cognizance. Let's try to show our people more grace and understanding. And have you ever thought maybe you were given these opportunities, you were put in this position so you could go back and be the change that you want to see? There's a plethora of young, successful black people who aren't using their success and position to look down on others or brag about how much better they are than everyone else. They're going back and they're taking the initiative to help their communities. Some of them are even doing it without any government assistance or help from some bigger group or organization.
Hey yo, so you gotta check out the new neighborhood grocery market on Detroit's east side. And it was started by a young black king. His name is Raphael Wright. Now the people of the community, including neighbors, residents, Michiganders, and people out of state, they invested and donated into this amazing community project. Then the Motor City Match awarded Rafa an $85,000 grant to help close the financial requirements for the store opening. Salute to this black king for being a leader and a pioneer in this community.
You got plenty of time, but that's how you replace them. You replace it the same way you take it out. You understand? Yes, sir. You put it right back in the same exact way. You understand? Yes, sir. That's how you gonna do that. You gonna put that bad boy in just like that. Boom. Your brakes have been replaced. You understand?
Neighborhood oil change workshop.
What? Say it again. The type of oil. OW20 means what? The type of oil. OW20 means what? The type of oil. It means the type of oil. You understand? Yes, sir. Say jack stands. Jack stands. Jack stands. Jack stands. Is a car heavy? No. Yes. Is a car heavy? Yes. Is a car heavy? Yes. All right, so this right here will keep the car from falling on us when we lift it up in the air. You understand?
Do y'all not realize that the Black Panther Party was a grassroots organization? And look at how much change they caused. People still talk about them to this day. Now that you guys have watched all those clips, I'm gonna give you my take on black fatigue. First of all, for the white people who are saying that they're experiencing black fatigue, all I'm gonna say is, you don't get to oppress me and then hate me or blame me for how I respond to that oppression. What you're really fatigued of is the consequences of your own actions. This new meaning of black fatigue that they're trying to adopt is just masked racism. A lot of people like to make this argument that slavery was so long ago, you know, racism doesn't exist that much anymore. If you're still struggling, it's because you're not motivated enough. First of all, slavery still exists. It's called the prison industrial complex. Government and corporations literally profit from mass incarceration because it allows for dirt cheap labor. Incarcerated people who work as firefighters in California earn anywhere from $5 to $10 a day. Not an hour, a day. You got to keep in mind that these people are risking their lives fighting these fires. And that's just the modern day slavery aspect. There's also things like redlining, lack of resources and funding, lack of opportunity, and the list goes on. Like, why is it so hard for people to acknowledge that when you oppress a people for that long, there's long lasting effects? The impact is generational. Yes, you might have your freedom, but you still got to work on building yourself back up. You still got to free your mind from the oppression. You got to get out of that slave mentality. And we got to stop acting like once black people were free, they were just allowed to flourish as they may. Just look up the Tulsa Race Massacre. White supremacists literally massacred a whole black community because it was flourishing. And I know some people are gonna say that happened in 1921, that's more than 100 years ago. Racism is gone today. Well, I'd like for you guys to meet Shiloh Hendricks.
Did you call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say. Nobody dig into your That little kid, you call him a the little child? Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be the that.
I don't give a
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Yeah, so this racist lady, who's obviously an anomaly because racism doesn't exist anymore, had a GoFundMe started for her where they raised more than $500,000. And I wonder where the money came from, especially because, you know, we live in a completely non-racist country, you know, because racism is just a thing of the past. And I hope these next 2 clips I'm about to show you give you some more perspective and help you understand why I don't support black fatigue.
I went to an all-black elementary school. School was so black we used to sing Lift Every Voice and Sing before all our assemblies. From 1st through 4th grade, a police officer would come in. She called herself Officer Friendly, and she would talk about how the police were there to help. Then she came in 5th grade, and she was no longer Officer Friendly. Now she was Sergeant Lyons. Sergeant Lyons took a boy up to the front of the class and demonstrated how not to resist arrest and make sure that you were being properly Mirandized. And this is the part I remember most. When, not if, you found yourself arrested. Again, this is a classroom of 10-year-olds. No matter what color you are, boys, young boys do stupid things as they come into puberty because there's testosterone meeting in a head-on collision with a not completely developed brain. When white boys do things and find themselves crossing the line, it's boys will be boys. It's let's not ruin this young man's life. He has such a bright future. With black boys, it's we've got to make an example out of him as a warning to others. Okay, so black children whose brains are not really in a position or fully formed to create good long-term decisions are introduced to a criminal justice system that then they have a really hard time getting out of, especially when so many of their charges are escalated to felonies and when you have 15 and 16-year-olds being charged as adults. Now, this is where the cycle of poverty starts. When you have a felony on your record, it becomes damn near impossible to get yourself ahead. Depending on the state and the circumstances, there are entire industries you can't work in. You might not be able to get a CDL. You might not be able to apply for a loan to go to college. Getting that first felony conviction when you're really young sets people up for a lifetime of poverty. Now, you know what's even more well-studied than the effects of over-policing on the black community? It's the effect that poverty has on people's ability to make good decisions. This has been researched exhaustively. When you are poor, it results in a stress that is catastrophic to your cognitive function. You cannot make decisions for the long term because you physically can't think about it. All you can think about is surviving right now. And when you're locked out of the economy, you can't get housing. You can't even get a job interview. You can't work in entire sectors. You can't get loans to start your own business. Then what do? You commit more crimes, usually property crimes. Most property crimes are considered felonies. And then it's back to jail you go. So this young man, who I am not dunking on, by the way, let's not take every response to mean that we're coming after somebody. We're just furthering the conversation. When this young man is asking, hey, we as black folks know that we're being over-policed, so what am I doing with this weed? What am I doing in these questionable circumstances? We're doing what decades of social and psychological science says people do when they are poor, when they are destitute. And the difference between black folks and white folks is that black folks are set up from the beginning to expect to enter this criminal justice to poverty death loop. Over-policing black communities leverages the psychological inevitabilities of poverty to make sure that we as a community remain poor. What do we do about it? I've got some ideas. They're all perfectly legal, but I don't know if I want to talk about them.
And just to double down on the point he made, it's extremely difficult to get out once you're in that cycle. And for the people who are in that cycle, who are going through that struggle, getting out seems almost impossible. For a lot of them, they're constantly in a mindset of survival. But let me go ahead and show you the next clip and give you what I think is my most important feedback.
They're calling it black fatigue, but what you really mean is I'm tired of loving wounded black people. You can just say that part with your chest. That's what you wanted to say. You're not tired because we're toxic. You're tired because your love had conditions. Yours. You didn't come to heal, you came to curate. You came to save a version of black society that was already fixed and no one praised you for it. And when we didn't perform your healing fantasy, you called it draining. This archetype always shows up during collapse, the one that confuses proximity with pain and with proof that they're better than it. Right? They have proof that they're better than it. That's how they see it, right? But you have to understand that you're not above the wound just because you narrate it from a distance. You're just protecting your image in the mirror while the rest of us are still trying to stitch it back together. You didn't transcend us. You abandoned us. Real black love doesn't tap out when it gets loud. It doesn't leave when the wounds resurface. It metabolizes. It listens longer. It doesn't call the hood low vibrational just because it got a better apartment. Love doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. And some of y'all don't have love for us. And that's cool. That's what I'm trying to get it at. It's cool, but I need you to know that the left is something you can get over. You could, right? And if you really tired, rest, right? If you're actually tired, but don't call that healing. That's retreat, because this ain't fatigue. It's spiritual gentrification we're watching, and these are spiritually gentrified people. You're not leaving because you're broken. You're leaving because our brokenness didn't fit your aesthetic anymore. And I need you to hear me clearly. We are not your inconvenience. Okay, we're not. We are your mirror, and if you truly heal, you'll still be here with us, not above us, right? So I get it, right? This is one thing I think is absolutely true. You do not have to like every black space, but don't ever use fatigue as an excuse to stop loving the ones who never had that option to leave. Just stupid shit. I wanted to tell a joke in this video, but these people upset me a lot.
And look, I hope this next analogy I'm about to give you doesn't offend anyone. That's totally not my intentions. And I hope you guys can see the correlation between the analogy and this black fatigue situation. Now, I want you to imagine someone who has an addiction to some hard drug. You can yell at them all day to stop using the drug. You could rough them up, beat them, whatever. It probably won't make a difference. The next day, they're still gonna be using that same drug. All you're really doing is just degrading them and making them feel worthless. And all that really does is make them feel worse about their situation and makes them feel even more guilty. But that never actually solves their addiction. It might actually make it worse. They might end up taking more drugs or even harder drugs to deal with that feeling of guilt and that shame. Or they might become even more secretive with the drugs that they're taking. Taking that approach of degrading someone, belittling them, and just making fun of their situation doesn't solve anything. And I know a lot of people are making the argument that, oh, all we want to do is just call them out on their quote-unquote BS. And truth be told, after seeing the angle that a lot of you guys are taking, I really don't believe that. It feels more like you just want to voice your frustrations. But back to my analogy. In those situations where someone is heavily addicted to drugs, what usually ends up working? The things that usually end up working are rehab, therapy, getting to the root of the problem and understanding the triggers. That's the real solution. Because we can sit here all day and call black people ghetto, but if we're not getting the support that we need, nothing is gonna change. And please stop acting like this is strictly a black people thing. If you go to any ghetto in this world, you'll find the exact same or if not similar behavior. Whether it's Brazil, Honduras, Venezuela, Jamaica, Mexico, Haiti, I want you to show me how orderly, how pristine, how prim and proper their ghettos are. And I know someone's gonna come in my comments and say something along the lines of, oh, you don't have to make everything about race. Well, sorry to break it to you, buddy, but everything is already about race. There's not many things in this world that aren't impacted by it. That's just the reality. But on that same note, I do hope that people just start looking at each other as human beings, and for that to be the reason why they're kind to one another, along with more understanding, more merciful, because honestly, we could all use it. If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications for me. And if you want to join the 4D fam and be a part of 4D World, go ahead and join my Discord channel. And if you didn't know, your boy definitely knows how to put that shit on, so go ahead and follow my Instagram. I'm gonna be dropping heat on there very soon. All links are in the description below. Again, I appreciate y'all for watching, and yo gang, can you like subscribe to my reaction channel, 4D Shams Live? I know I already said it, but like, come on gang, come on, do me a favor. Hey, yo, I appreciate you. Hey, but not for real though, keep turning me up, bruh. 4D Shams, 4D World, I'm out. Love y'all.